Is Iran now using phone and app data to hunt down U.S. troops across the Persian Gulf, turning their own devices into targeting beacons? Has the Pentagon's newest headache become deadly digital leaks in live war zones, where every hacked contact list or location ping can get soldiers killed? After the Bandar Abbas strike, do U.S. forces now risk being digitally tracked and hunted by Iranian missiles every time they go online or use a smartphone? Are America's own apps turning into a battlefield liability, as lawmakers sound the alarm over data-hungry platforms just as the Iran war restarts? U.S. forces operating in war zones have been targeted using commercially available location data, raising alarms about how easily their movements can be tracked. This vulnerability was highlighted in a May 26 report citing a letter from U.S. Central Command, which detailed growing concern inside the military. Centcom said it had received multiple threat reports about adversaries exploiting such data, indicating the problem is not hypothetical but already in play. According to that assessment, commercially available data is being used to target or surveil U.S. personnel in theater, potentially mapping their presence and routines. A bipartisan group of lawmakers has formally warned the Pentagon about the issue, pressing for urgent action to plug this digital security gap. They noted that commercial datasets could reveal where U.S. troops gather and their daily patterns, offering hostile actors a ready-made playbook. Lawmakers warned that this information could expose American forces to missile, drone, and roadside bomb attacks by helping enemies pinpoint them. Senator Ron Wyden argued that the United States should start treating the ad tech industry itself as a national security threat when it comes to such data. The warning came just before tensions in the Middle East spiked again following the U.S. attack on Bandar Abbas, underscoring the stakes of digital exposure in a live conflict. Fresh U.S. strikes reportedly targeted a suspected Iranian military site overnight as tensions continue escalating across the Gulf region. American officials claimed the targeted Iranian site posed a direct threat to U.S. forces and shipping through Hormuz. Reuters reported the latest American military action on May 27, citing a senior official speaking anonymously about the operation. The fresh strikes came despite a fragile ceasefire that had already been under severe pressure from both sides. U.S. officials also claimed multiple Iranian drones were intercepted and destroyed during the latest military operations in the region. Washington alleged the drones threatened both American military assets and commercial maritime traffic near the Strait of Hormuz. The overnight operation had not been publicly disclosed before anonymous officials confirmed details to Reuters on Wednesday. Trump insisted the Strait of Hormuz would remain open under continued American monitoring and military pressure against Iran. Notably, the United States already carried out what it called defensive strikes against Iran earlier this week. Iran accused Washington of repeatedly violating the fragile ceasefire through continued military operations and escalating regional attacks. Previous U.S. operations targeted suspected Iranian mine-laying boats and missile launch facilities near key maritime routes. Centcom claimed those earlier Iranian-linked targets threatened both U.S. military personnel and international shipping routes across the Gulf. Meanwhile, Iranian media reported 3 explosions near Bandar Abbas as tensions sharply escalated overnight across southern Iran. Iran activated its air defense systems for several minutes while authorities investigated the cause of the explosions near Bandar Abbas. Iran International's report said, and I quote, "Iranian media reported that 3 explosions were heard east of the southern port city of Bandar Abbas at around 1:30 a.m. local time on Wednesday, adding that air defenses were activated for several minutes and that authorities are investigating the source of the sounds." Unquote. U.S. officials claimed Iran launched 4 drones toward an American-linked ship near the Strait of Hormuz recently. According to Axios, U.S. forces intercepted and destroyed all 4 drones before they could strike their intended targets. The latest escalation came shortly after Trump declared that nobody would be allowed to control the Strait of Hormuz militarily. Trump made the remarks amid reports suggesting Iran and Oman were discussing a possible new framework governing Hormuz shipping routes.
Iran wants control of the Strait of Hormuz. Would you accept a short-term deal that allows Iran and Oman to control the strait? And would they have to open it immediately, or would you be open to that happening over a period of time?
No, the strait's going to be open to everybody.
And who would control it?
It's international waters. Nobody's going to control it. We're going to watch over it. We'll watch over it, but nobody's going to control it. That's part of the negotiation that we have. They would like to control it. Nobody's going to control it. It's international waters, and Oman will behave just like everybody else, so we'll have to blow them up. They understand that. They'll be fine.
Iran's IRGC says it has released a video showcasing its response to the May 27 attack launched by the U.S. military, using the footage to signal its readiness to retaliate. According to the IRGC, its forces struck a U.S. airbase in direct response to a reported American attack near Bandar Abbas, framing the move as a calibrated counterblow. Tasnim news agency reported that Tehran described the strike as an answer to U.S. aggression, portraying Iran's actions as defensive retaliation rather than escalation. Press TV reported that the strike was announced in a statement published by the IRGC, which laid out the group's rationale and attempted to justify the action as a measured, intentional response rather than an impulsive escalation. The IRGC said the attack took place at 4:50 a.m. and described it as a serious warning, using precise timing and stark language to emphasize the message was deliberate and meant to deter further actions. Iran stated that the strike was retaliation for an earlier U.S. military action near Bandar Abbas, portraying the operation as part of a tit-for-tat cycle meant to punish what Tehran called unlawful or provocative conduct. The IRGC warned that any further U.S. aggression would be met with a stronger response, signaling a commitment to escalate proportionally if it perceives continued threats, and underscoring the danger of a widening confrontation. The IRGC said, and I quote, "Following the U.S. military's pre-dawn attack today using aerial projectiles on a site near Bandar Abbas Airport, the American airbase from which the attack originated was targeted at 4:50 a.m. This response is a serious warning to the enemy that any act of aggression will not go unanswered, and, if repeated, our response will be even more decisive. The aggressor bears full responsibility for the consequences." Unquote. Kuwait activated air defenses after what it called hostile missile and drone threats, scrambling military radar and interceptor systems to protect key infrastructure and population centers as authorities assessed incoming risks. The Kuwaiti military said blast sounds heard on May 28 were caused by air defense systems, explaining that interceptors and countermeasures detonated in the sky as part of a defensive response rather than from strikes on the ground. The incident came as Middle East tensions surged again following fresh U.S. strikes in Iran, adding another volatile chapter to a cycle of retaliatory actions that has heightened regional alarm and diplomatic strain. The latest exchange marks another sharp escalation in U.S.-Iran tensions amid a fragile truce, underscoring how quickly a tenuous ceasefire can fray and how proximate states are drawn into the wider security fallout. Fresh U.S. strikes reportedly targeted a suspected Iranian military site overnight as tensions continue escalating across the Gulf region. American officials claimed the targeted Iranian site posed a direct threat to U.S. forces and shipping through Hormuz. Reuters reported the latest American military action on May 27, citing a senior official speaking anonymously about the operation. The fresh strikes came despite a fragile ceasefire that had already been under severe pressure from both sides. U.S. officials also claimed multiple Iranian drones were intercepted and destroyed during the latest military operations in the region. Washington alleged the drones threatened both American military assets and commercial maritime traffic near the Strait of Hormuz. The overnight operation had not been publicly disclosed before anonymous officials confirmed details to Reuters on Wednesday. Trump insisted the Strait of Hormuz would remain open under continued American monitoring and military pressure against Iran. Notably, the United States already carried out what it called defensive strikes against Iran earlier this week. Iran accused Washington of repeatedly violating the fragile ceasefire through continued military operations and escalating regional attacks. Previous U.S. operations targeted suspected Iranian mine-laying boats and missile launch facilities near key maritime routes. Centcom claimed those earlier Iranian-linked targets threatened both U.S. military personnel and international shipping routes across the Gulf. Meanwhile, Iranian media reported 3 explosions near Bandar Abbas as tensions sharply escalated overnight across southern Iran. Iran activated its air defense systems for several minutes while authorities investigated the cause of the explosions near Bandar Abbas.